Hello again and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jeremy and today I'm quite excited to share this recipe with you. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a masala steak Gatsby. And I'm not only going to teach you how to make the masala steak and the chips that go on the Gatsby and how to spice them. I'm also going to teach you how to make the roll, the Gatsby roll. So we're going to start with the roll and then move on to the steak and then finish with the chips. So let's get started immediately. So in the mixing bowl, I have 4 cups of flour, I have 1 packet of yeast, I have 2 teaspoons of sugar, I have a teaspoon of salt. And to that, I'm going to add 1.5 cups of lukewarm water. And if you look in there, you'll see there's oil in there. There are 2 tablespoons of oil in there. And I'm going to add all of that to the dry ingredients. And I'm just going to stir it slightly. And then I'm going to knead it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some water in the microwave and I'm going to let it boil in the microwave so that the microwave can be warm once I'm done kneading the dough. And I'm going to knead. And we're going to knead this until the bowl is clean. So you're looking at a good 5 minutes of kneading. You can just knead it gently like I am and just keep on turning and turning the dough around and eventually you'll see it coming together. If you prefer, you could take it out of the bowl and do it on the counter, but I'm going to do it in the bowl today. Okay, so you'll see the bowl is just about clean and we're going to leave this to rise for about an hour. So I'm just going to oil it slightly. And I'm going to oil the bowl. And then I'm going to cover it with cling wrap. And the microwave is nice and warm. My water has boiled in there. I've put the microwave off. And I'm going to put this in the microwave to rise for 1 hour. While the dough is rising in the microwave, I'm going to start preparing the masala steak. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the stove on medium-high heat, and I'm going to chop the onions. Now, I'm using quite a small onion, and I'm just going to chop it not too finely, because the steak is going to be on the stove for quite a while, so the onion will cook away. I'm also going to chop a chili. So I'm going to add 2 to 3 bay leaves, 3 cloves, and about a heaped teaspoon of cumin into my oil, as well as my onion and my chopped chili. Now don't be scared to add more chili if you like, because you can make the masala steak quite strong because there are so many potatoes and other sauces on the Gatsby that if the masala steak, it's quite difficult to make it too strong. While this is browning, I'm going to prepare my garlic and ginger. So I have literally a thumb of ginger and 2 big cloves of garlic. I'm going to peel them and I'm going to grate them. Now when you grate garlic and ginger, instead of chopping them up, I would advise you not to put them in the oil too early, because if you put them in the oil too early and they burn, it will make your food bitter. Now once you have grated the ginger, you will see there's all this hair. Now if you are cooking for other people, throw the hair away. Otherwise they might think it's your hair. But if you're cooking for yourself, you can keep the hair. So my onions are soft, they're not getting brown, these are strange onions. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add my masalas. Now what I have here is I have a heaped tablespoon of Durban masala, that's the red one, and I have a flat tablespoon of a fragrant fish masala. And I'm just going to mix that into the oil and onions. And I'm going to let my masala heat up slightly without burning. Then I'll add my steak. Now I'm going to be honest, I don't have steak today. Usually you would make it with tenderized steak, but I've got goulash. So I'm going to add 1/2 kilogram of goulash to my spices. Now you can see it sticking at the bottom. I'm just going to add a bit of water. And I'm also going to add the garlic and ginger. I'm going to add some more water because I don't want it to burn. And I'm going to leave this on the stove for quite a long time. So I'm going to turn down the heat now to very low, because if you want tender steak or tender goulash, you want to cook for a long time over low heat. So I'm just going to season it with salt and pepper. And I'm just going to add a teaspoon of sugar. And I'm going to leave this to simmer covered very slowly until I finish both the bread and the chips. So that'll be a good hour and a half to 2 hours. It's been an hour, and let's knock down this dough and finish the breads. So this mixture is enough for 2 Gatsbys. I'm just going to knock it down, put it on the counter. I'm going to cut it in half. And then I'm going to play around with the dough some more, just to make sure all the air comes out. And I'm going to start forming my roll. So I'm just going to roll it until it gets to the desired thickness and shape. Okay, so they're sort of similar shapes. Let's put them onto the pan and see what we have. So as you can see, I've again used baking paper on my pan. I don't take any chances. And I'm going to leave these to rise for about an hour. So I'm going to put them in a warm place. The microwave usually works. I'm going to cover them with cling wrap first, else the tops will dry out. So I'm just going to put some cling wrap over and leave it to rise for about 1 hour. So my goulash steak has been going all this time. And I just throw water in every now and again. And I'm going just to add a tiny drop more just to make sure it doesn't burn in this last stretch of cooking. And you can see that my breads have come up nicely. I'm going to remove the plastic. And then I'm going to take a sharp knife and I'm just going to slash them 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then they're going to go into the oven for 17 minutes on 180 degrees Celsius. So as soon as the bread goes in the oven, we're going to start with the chips. So I've moved the steak to the other stove, and I'm going to put this one on. I'm going to put it on very hot heat. I'm going to spray it to make sure nothing sticks. And then I'm going to put in quite a lot of oil. And while that oil is heating up, I'm going to prepare the potatoes. So what I have here is I have this many potatoes. I'm going to weigh how many I use. And if you have one of these, you're going to make your life very, very easy. And I'm just going to cut out any ugly looking bits. And I'm going to make chips with my potatoes. I have washed these potatoes. I actually soaked them in water for a while to make sure they were clean because I don't want to peel them. But if you prefer them peeled, then peel them. And if you don't have one of these, then get ready for quite a lot of cutting. So if you've never made a Gatsby before, for one Gatsby, you need a lot more chips than you think. I'm already on 405 grams of chips. Yep, I'm using just over 1 kilogram of chips. So you need to ensure that there's enough oil in your pot to cover the chips completely, otherwise they won't fry nicely. And then I'm going to drop 1 chip in to see if the pot is ready. That is ready. And then if you are not used to doing this by hand, use a utensil of some sort, but then just drop them all in. So you might be wondering why I'm making my chips in a pot. Because generally one makes chips in a pan or in a deep fryer. I don't have a deep fryer. Sometimes I'll make the chips in our air fryer. But if you make it in a pan, then you end up with oil splatters everywhere. So I make it in a pot, quite a high pot, so that there's not a big mess. The rolls are finished. They've been in the oven for 17 minutes. Let's take them out. And that's perfect. So I'm just going to remove them from this pan so they can start cooling down. You want the breads to come out before the chips are done because you want it to cool down slightly so you can work with it without burning your hands too much. The chips are ready and I'm going to remove them from the oil now. Once you've removed the chips from the oil, you need to add a spice of some sort to it. So a barbecue spice or an aromat or a chili spice or even just salt. But I like fisherman spice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle some fisherman spice over the top. And I'm going to stir the chips to make sure that the spice gets everywhere. Okay, so everything's ready. Let's assemble this Gatsby. So we're going to start by cutting it in half. And first thing we're going to add is we're going to put a layer of mayonnaise on the bottom half of the Gatsby roll. This is Cross and Blackwell tangy mayonnaise. Usually you'd put some salad on there now. So you would add some lettuce, some tomato and some onion, but we don't like the salad, so we just leave it out. So next I'm going to put all these chips on there. I know it might seem like I'm being a bit excessive, but I'm not. Then next we're going to add the masala steak, or in this case, the masala goulash. And you could add all of this. It just depends on you and how much you want. But we usually do 1/2 kilogram of steak with two Gatsbys. So I'm going to add half of this and then freeze the other half along with the Gatsby roll for another time. Okay, now you have a choice. You can add more of the sauce onto there if you like that, but we don't. So you can just sort of, if you want, add all of it, but that's not our vibe. And then you're going to top it off with a sauce of your choice. I can use tomato sauce, chutney, anything you want really. I wouldn't advise some more mayo, but even that fish sauce, that's the mayo and the tomato sauce mixed, would also work. But we use barbecue sauce. I've got all gold barbecue sauce. I hope there's enough. And you want to be quite generous. Now personally, I probably would have put on more sauce, but I'm done. So we're going to close it. Now, you would not eat this by yourself. Generally, a Gatsby is shared. Some people will cut it in half and each will eat half. We usually do a quarter each, so it lasts for 2 days. But that's our masala steak Gatsby. So thank you very much for joining me again. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. If you enjoyed the recipe, please hit the like button. And if you enjoyed the other recipes, please subscribe to my channel. If you subscribe to my channel, please remember to hit the notifications tab so that whenever there's something new, you'll get notified. So have a good evening. We certainly are going to have an awesome evening with Gatsby's for supper.